Solve This Murder. I'm your detective, Bill.
And I am your crime scene criminal and witnesses, Dani.
And this is a new story, a new
We're up to our third mystery.
A new mystery is what this is. We've just finished releasing episodes for Body on the Beach, which I think went really well. I mean, I did terribly. I think people can tell that I stumbled through that denouement, just sort of piecing it together as you told me how everything happened. I was like, oh yeah, that's true.
All right.
That's true.
That's how this goes. We can't all be Poirot. we haven't seen Poirot's work when he was in his 20s.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to get there. I'm not a hardened veteran of the scene. Yeah, I'm a newbie.
And you're the king of police.
So, we got a lot of support during that arc, so thank you everybody who was listening and sending in messages and guesses and theories. We had a lot more people sending in theories of how the murder happened and what was going on, so thank you for that.
And everyone had at least some elements of it correct. In fact, quite a decent amount. But I'd have to say that by sheer number of correct statements we have a new person on our Wall of Detectives. Yes.
A new Sherlock.
Exactly. So by virtue of sheer number of correct things stated, and one, I really wish I'd thought of that thing from me, that would go to, yay, nepotism, my cousin Bree. Well done, Bree.
All right.
Nailed it.
Good work, Bree.
And I'm not going to count the fact that a few hours after sending in your guess, you sent in another one that said, actually, I've changed my mind.
Well, I don't agree to this. She's stripped of all Wall of Detective privileges.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it's not like real detectives get to do that. They arrest someone and they can't just change their mind after.
Wait.
Right?
Okay, so she did get it right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wonderful. So we are ready for a new one. I still don't have an assistant. I need an assistant.
Now, apparently, Bree wants to be your assistant.
Oh, well, she's earned it, hasn't she? Where is she? Where's my help?
She's still got to go through the next level of the test.
Yeah, if you can be on our Wall of Detectives twice in a row, then you're automatically an assistant. Is that how it works? Probably not. Don't hold me to that. Okay, well, I'm ready. I've got my notebook in front of me, my case notes. I got my detective hat on. I've got my detective jacket on. I got my detective pipe that I'm smoking. I got all my detective gear. I got a magnifying glass. I got one of those jeweler's eyeglasses to look at things really close up. Got bags for evidence. I got little numbers. I'm ready.
Well, this is going to be really sad because what you've just done is make the unfortunate blunder of filling up your luggage too much.
Oh no, I'm on vacation.
Not exactly, but instead of starting this season with a call from Inspector Simba...
yes, it's me, Inspector Simba.
Hey, no appropriating. Hey, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's gone.
You are stepping off a plane onto a tropical island, and the reason that you have been called here is because there's a bit of a not fully official thing going on yet. One of the 6 remaining contestants on a reality show has died under mysterious circumstances.
It's Love Island.
It's Survivor ? Now.
Okay. So someone has died on. So it's a reality TV show.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm just going to write Love Island here.
I can't stress enough how much it is / for legal reasons is not Survivor.
Okay. I'm going to cross out Love Island and I'm going to write I'm a murderer. Get me out of here.
Yeah, I haven't actually given this show a name, but it could really do with one.
As I find out more about the show, we can come up with an appropriate
one. Brilliant. So this is particularly interesting as you were called in by the head of production because every move that the cast makes is caught on camera, and yet one of their contestants has died and no one can quite figure out why or what went on with that. And based on medical histories and behavior throughout the season, this came out of nowhere. So there is a distinct possibility that there was foul play. And to an extent, you get the feeling that production a little bit wants there to have been foul play.
Oh, production.
Just so that the show itself was not seen as conducive to death.
Not because it would be good television.
Oh, no, absolutely
They're not that jaded.
No.
All right.
It's because if there was a murder, that's an individual person that's responsible. If it was a tragedy, then that's the show's fault and it's going to be cancelled forever.
Murder's not a tragedy?
I'm just saying it how they're saying it.
Okay.
And the other things that you have been told about this is that the production team that is on location and those who are editing footage on the mainland, even though this has all only just happened, it's all very quick, from what they can say, they haven't noticed anything at all.
Okay.
So none of the prior footage has shown anything that could give any hint to this.
No hints on footage. So that's it? That's my intro?
That is your intro.
All right, so I need to... Well, first of all, I should talk to whoever called me out here.
Well, it was actually some of the heads of the entire production thing on the mainland that called you to initially go there, but your point of contact is the host/executive producer, Adam, who will meet you at the main camp. All of the contestants and the camera people who were on duty at the time of the death are waiting for you.
All right, now have the police been involved yet? They haven't.
Not yet. It's taking them a while to get here. Their plane was not as good as yours.
Sure. Where did I get such a nice... I am the king of police. Okay. So I should go... I'm going to start by talking to Adam. Find out. Get the skinny.
Yeah, absolutely.
Find out what's going
on. Brilliant. Okay, so you approach Adam, like I've said. You're at the main camp. There are, as far as you know, not too many different places that the cast and crew were allowed to go on this island during their filming. And what you've hit is, it's on the beach. There's some dense forest covering a lot of the non-sandy area of this island.
Mm-hmm.
And you're on the western sort of side of this beach. There's water to the south end, hooking a bit around to the west. It's got, a very handmade shelter going on. It's got a campfire. Not much else to it, except for a bunch of people sitting around looking depressed.
This is a contestants camp?
Yes.
Not a production area camp?
No.
Okay.
But Adam approaches you, and the impression that you get from him is he looks gutted.
Poor Adam. I say, hello, Adam. How are you?
Hey, thank you for coming in. It's really great that you're here to investigate what has happened. And
before I start looking at it, can you tell me what it is that has happened? Who's what? Can you tell me the victim or any theories you've got?
Of course. Theories?
No, sorry. Please. Just tell me what's going on.
Okay, so...
Do my job for me, Adam.
All right, so we got 6 players left, and they were separated last night. 3 of them were off on reward. Do you know how the show works?
Please, enlighten me.
All right. So I guess I got to start at the beginning. The whole point of this show is that you get a bunch of people together, you put them on an island, you give them very few resources. They're living like they've been shipwrecked, and they've got to start from scratch, except every few days they get to vote people off. There's a bit of a Lord of the Flies aspect to it, where they start to form little groups of alliances and friendships and enemies and that sort of thing. So every so often, they get the chance to eliminate someone.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of it all, it comes down to a final 2 people. And at that point, the audience of TV viewers at home gets to decide who wins.
Ah, so it's like Survivor until it's worse.
What's Survivor?
Oh no, the universe is different.
This has been on for 40 years.
Survivor hasn't been on television for 200 years. Okay.
And the prize at the end, $1 million.
Yep.
But what can happen, obviously, you don't just get to choose anyone that you want to eliminate. There are challenges every so often.
Ooh, okay.
Where people can receive both immunity from being eliminated in the next vote, and they get a reward as well. The reward that we usually give people is that the winner and a couple of friends that they choose to go along with them get to spend the night at the winner's gazebo.
Sure.
Which has proper beds, some food, some drinks, that sort of thing. And the 3 people who were there last night, one of them went to sleep and just was not able to be woken up in the morning.
So so they died at the not at the murderers, at the winner's gazebo.
Yes.
And there were only 3 of them there?
Yes.
Can you tell me?
Okay, there were 3 contestants there.
Ah, but there were also cameramen?
There was 1 camera operator at the time,
Only one?
Well, I mean, in the middle of the night, not that much happens, so we usually put the rest of the team on call. So there was 1 working at the regular camp, 1 working at the winner's gazebo, and the rest sleeping. But during the daytime, everyone gets their own. Every player gets their own camera person.
Were there 3 camera people at the winner's gazebo at some point when they first got over there? Or did that all happen overnight?
It all happens in the evening. They don't get there until the challenge finishes quite late in the evening.
Okay, that's good to know. So who were the contestants at the winner's gazebo?
All right, so first of all, the victim, I guess you'd call her,
Yes, I would.
All right, that's Elise Duke.
All right, let me write this down. Man.
And the other two contestants that were there were Leslie and Ronan. He points them out, two of the guys that are sitting over there.
Oh, it's a male Leslie.
Yes. And he points to one more, who obviously is dressed a little bit different, doesn't look as crazy fatigued and emaciated as the others, and says, and that's the cameraman Jeremy. He was the one that was there.
All right, so in my notes, I've got victim Elise Duke, female, WG1, that's Winners Gazebo 1, Leslie, WG2 Ronan, and WG Cam. What was their name? Sorry,
Jeremy.
Okay. And so they were the people who were at the Winners Gazebo. Who else is currently in play? Let me just get a list of the players.
Yeah, no problem. So the ones who weren't there were Benny, Shannon, and Zana. Again, he points these out to you.
Okay.
And the other one...
There's another player? I thought there was only 6 players.
No, the other person.
Oh, the other cameraman who was at the main camp overnight.
Camera woman.
They're
Now
still
you've
called
screwed it.
cameramen.
No, camera operator, they prefer.
Okay.
It's Deirdre.
Wonderful. Now, is there anyone else who was on sort of in these locations overnight? Any security people or bear wranglers or anyone like that?
The only other people who were even a little bit in the area are the people in the on-call tent, which is where the other camera people end up. Like, if something did happen in the middle of the night, we wouldn't want only one person to be in charge.
And
so that's all the other cameramen. Yep. So just the other 4 that are in charge of the other players. We can all vouch for each other because I was there. That's where I sleep as well. Okay. So I guarantee we're not involved in this. There's also the med team, but they usually have their own little setup and quite far away.
Okay, lovely. Now, I have another question for you.
Yeah.
Adam, if that is your real name.
Believe it or not, it is.
Weird.
I'm in showbiz. Like, it's a weird thing. Like, that's unusual.
What happens to contestants after they're voted out of the show?
They go home.
And are you sure they all go home?
Absolutely.
How do you ensure that they're all going home?
We put them on a helicopter.
So what you're saying is Dani doesn't have a list of the other contestants' names or any information about them whatsoever?
It would be pretty weird if she did. They're not suspects.
All right, good. Thank you, Adam.
Most of them haven't been on the island in days or weeks.
All right, lovely.
We were just about to hit another elimination, was supposed to be happening today. So yeah, it's been a few days since any of those contestants have been here.
Interesting. And did the victim, Elise, they were at the Winners Gazebo as a reward. Did they also have immunity?
Yeah, she did. She won the overall challenge.
So it was jealousy. Jealousy. They couldn't vote her out, so they got her out with murder.
I mean, if you think that that's what's going on,
that's
wild, pretty wild.
That's a wild jump.
And again, I personally contacted the editors on the mainland. They didn't see anything. I would be very surprised. Like, we'll obviously take a look at Jeremy's footage and see if there's anything there, but he hasn't seen anything.
Yeah, of course. Now, Adam, just before I talk to everybody else, presumably when you recruit these contestants, you do some vetting, some background information.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know anything that might be relevant? Well, first of all,
no, we're a clean show. Nothing crazy in anyone's background.
Well, my other question, first of all, is: are you sure that none of them know each other? Are they all strangers, or is that something you check for?
Well, it's part of the contractual obligation. Like, they have to sign things that say that.
But you don't follow up and check?
Well, we do have people looking into that, like doing some social media stalking and all of that sorts of things. If they happen to cross paths 20 years ago, realistically, there's no way that we could manage
Strangers
that.
on a train.
I don't know what that is.
It doesn't exist in this... Oh, okay. I was going to say it didn't exist in this universe. Well, Survivor doesn't exist. Who knows about strangers on a train? All right, lovely. Well, I suppose I should get talking to more people.
Yeah, no worries. And if you ever need anything else, I mean, it's pretty obvious. I'm the one in the know here. This is my show, my show, but I feel pretty special bond with it. I've been with it since the beginning.
Wonderful. Who's the other to your show?
Oh, the people back on the mainland.
Who sent me here.
Yeah, who
again aren't suspects.
Let's be frank, have money.
Fair. Okay, well, thank you for that, Adam, if that is your fake name. I might go myself to the winner's gazebo now.
All right.
Before talking to anybody else.
Yeah, let's go take a look. So the winner's gazebo is more on the east side of the beach. So it takes a little bit of a walk to get there. As you pass it, you think that you see in some of the trees about halfway between the two camps, which makes perfect sense, a separate little campsite, which may be the on-call area for the camera people.
So effectively, if I'm getting the geography right, it's like there's water to the south.
Yep.
There's water off to the west.
Yep.
Is the winner's gazebo also on the beach? Are we like on a peninsula? Is Love Island actually a peninsula?
Yeah, everything is built on the sand, and as you get further inland, it's trees.
Cool. So we got like a water on all sides, but north.
Sure.
We got trees in the middle here. Completely kind of like you'd have to go through the trees to get from one camp to the other.
No, there's beach that doesn't have the trees on it, but it doesn't take long to get to the tree line.
Okay.
But yeah, you can walk just along the sand.
So I've done my trees like a little widow's peak into the middle of this beach.
Okay, that's fair.
And we've got the main camp here, the winner's gazebo on the east side of this widow's peak, and the kind of
the on-call area
in the trees,
a little
clearing,
just in the trees. So pretty much on the line. Yeah. So as you were walking, you could see it.
So if you weren't going to go through the trees, and you want to go from one camp to the other, you'd pretty much have to pass right by the on-call camp.
Yes.
Cool. Almost like a little sentry point on the beach.
I suppose so.
Cool. All right.
In addition, as you approach the winner's gazebo, you see something out in the water. There's a big floating platform.
Ooh, for a challenge?
That's what you would guess. I don't know, how much have you watched the show?
All of it.
It's been on for 40 years.
I'm a huge fan.
Oh, okay. Well, that's going to make your line of questioning very different from someone who wouldn't know. Normally, I would feel like, and I know this for a fact, that when reality shows get covered in murder mystery things, the detective is always grizzled and doesn't know a thing about it and needs to ask the most basic questions while all the hip young people tell them how out of touch they are.
Well, I'm in touch and hip and young, and I know all about... what is this show called? What is this show called? Hold on. Okay, it's like Lord of the Flies. It's like Survivor.
You can't call it Robinson Crusoe because that was the original show that Survivor was from.
What about Gilligan's Guile? Because they all have to show their guile and cunning to get to the end, and it's like a shipwreck Gilligan's Island situation.
All right, why not?
Gilligan's Guile is what the show's called.
Boy, how did that last for 40 years? That's why they chose the name, because it started 40 years ago.
It's Gilligan's Guile. I'll just write that up the top here. What do they call it? Gilligan. Hosted by Adam Gilligan.
Please, it's Adam Gill.
Did you give me a surname earlier?
I did not.
His name's Adam Gilligan.
Elise is the only one who gets a surname in this.
Adam Gilligan, writing it in again.
You're a bad person.
Adam Gilligan for Gilligan's Guile. Oh, I'm so excited by this show. Okay, so I'm a big Gilligan's Guile fan.
Yep. All right, so in that case, you recognize that floating platform. That's where the arena stage of the challenge comes in. You know, obviously, that the immunity and reward challenges take place over 3 stages.
Sure.
And the first stage is always they go out to this thing and they do 1v1 wrestling until someone falls into the water.
Sure. All right, so I'm going to take mental note of that, but I'm going to head over to the winner's gazebo.
All right, you approach the winner's gazebo. It's reasonably sized, could fit a few people in it, and there are, at the moment, you don't know if it's permanently so, because obviously the number of people who would be declared winners might change over the season. There are currently 3 beds set up there, and a whole bunch of pizza boxes and beer bottles.
Okay.
You walk up and there's a nice little mat that says congratulations as you walk into it. And I'm going to assume, I don't know how much there was to investigate on the body, so I don't know if it's still there or not. What do you reckon? Should it still be there?
Yes.
Okay. And one of the beds is still full. It's a real Goldilocks situation here.
Okay, well, I'll go straight to the body.
All right. So from what you know, she died at some point during the night. You can see she's wearing a bikini top, board shorts. There are no visible odd marks on her, except for the things that you'd probably expect from someone on Gilligan's Guile. mosquito bites, small scrapes, bruises, that sort of thing.
Yeah, but
It's hard to see anything too out of place.
There's no large, like, gaping wounds. No injection points on their thigh.
I mean, mosquito bites are kind of injection points, but...
That's a clue. Okay, so there's nothing that looks like a...
No.
Okay. I wonder if there was anything... I mean, that puts you towards... If it's not natural and it's not violent, it makes you think it's going to be like poison or something. And there is a lot of pizza and beer. I wonder if there's anything like... I might ask if she had any like dietary requirements. So if there's pizzas that you could have been reasonably sure would go just to her. You know, like you poison the vegan pizza that no one else is going to eat because they don't like vegan cheese.
Good. So you're going to give Adam a call from the other side to ask him that?
No, I'll just note it down and I'll ask them later.
All right.
I'm just talking through my thought process. So I'm just going to go, I'm going to write down my notes. I'm going to say poison, ? Dietary, ... And I'll underline that so I come back to it. Anything else about... With the bodies, anything else to look at? Any mark, any like jewelry or anything else other than just the clothes they're wearing?
Not on her. She clearly kept it pretty simple. There's a pair of sneakers sitting by the bed.
I check the sneakers. I check inside the sneakers. That's right. I remember you people yelling at me. I check inside the sneakers.
No, they're...
Wallet and phone?
No, nothing inside them. There are bags sitting around there, 3 bags.
Okay. Why? Do they bring their bags with them?
I mean, to these sorts of things, yeah, these are just like the show-given bags that contain a couple of things that every contestant gets given.
Sure.
Like water skin, sunscreen, safety booklet, that sort of thing.
All right. Can I give those a bit of a rummage? They all have the same things in them?
Yeah, totally. You take a look. So, Elise's bag first.
Yes.
It doesn't look like it's missing anything. You don't know exactly what's supposed to be in here, but just the things that I stated. So sunscreen, water skin, booklet of, the safe and unsafe things because they don't want anyone to die on an island. Elise's bag has all of these things in it. Mm-hmm. Her sunscreen's running pretty low and her water skin's totally empty. It is hot out here. You already want sunscreen and a water skin, so that doesn't surprise you. You take a look at Ronan and Leslie's bags as well, and their sunscreens aren't quite as low, but their water skins are empty as well.
Okay. But nothing else extra or missing in there?
No.
Interesting. Okay. Looking around, can I just do like a bit of a turn the place over, look for...
Absolutely.
Because if I find like a hypodermic needle underneath one of these beds, that's pretty close, open and shut.
All right. You take a look around. Thank God, those pizza boxes and beer bottles, when you count them, there are 10 pizza boxes, 30 beer bottles. Not all of them are empty because, well, that could lead you towards a cause of death pretty quickly.
Yes.
Just over 3.5 pizzas have been eaten all up and only 6 beers drunk.
Weird. Why do they have so much?
Because some people can get overeager.
And vomiting on TV is funny.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you keep searching around. Remember that congratulations mat at the entrance?
Yes. Can I look under that?
Yeah.
That was part of my plan.
Yeah, that's nasty. There's vomit under there. Just sand caked with dried vomit.
Interesting.
Taking a look around the area surrounding the gazebo, there's one thing that, to a less experienced detective, would have looked a little bit strange. But again, you know what this show is all about. There are 2 trees right on the tree line that look almost like they've been stripped. They have no leaves. They're chopped off at the top. So they're just basically wood cylinders sticking into the ground. No branches, nothing like that. But you know that they are part of another part of the challenge.
Oh, of the main immunity challenge.
Yes. So the main immunity challenge
comes... the thing to the top?
Well, this is actually the 3rd stage, the endurance. They just have to climb up, hold on for as long as they can.
Okay. Endurance trees.
Closer to the water, there's a funny little outcropping of rocks, and there are footprints on the sand, quite a few sets of footprints that look like the ones that have come from the camp, perhaps one that's come from the on-call area, that sort of thing. And then Actually, a couple that look like they've come from the on-call area. Some that look like they've come from a completely other direction. There is one set of footprints that looks a bit more prominent than all the rest, but again, there are quite a lot going on. And fair enough, as they found a dead body here.
Yeah.
They probably, some of them, the ones coming from a weird direction, probably the medical team.
Yeah,
for
I can
instance.
imagine. You said there was one that looked more prominent than the others?
Yeah, there's just more of it. And in more areas than others,
And
just
what
like
is-
all over the beach.
Of that type of footprint?
Yeah, just that yeah, one person's footprint has gone into more places than the rest.
Okay. I wonder who that was. Okay, anything... Other pizzas? No, I'll ask about dietary requirements. I don't look at the pizzas, that's fine. Man, someone with the pizza question is annoyed at me now. Okay, what else do I need to look at here? Get an idea of the crime scene. I look at the other two beds, the ones that are empty. Are they just made up beds or unmade beds? Or...
They're not made up. It looks like the other contestants either woke up or were woken up. Who knows the order of things at this stage? And were essentially told, cool, get out, go to the main camp. Everything's going to be frozen.
Sure. That's fair. Gilligan knows his stuff. Well, I don't know if there's anything else to do here. Anything to discover. Vomit under the mat is interesting. I should review the footage of the murder. I do that before I talk to too many people. Mm-hmm. I want to go find Jeremy,
Okay.
the cameraman, who was the winner's gazebo cameraman.
That's right.
Jez.
He hates that.
Oh, Jeremy.
That's right. Okay, so you go, you find Jeremy, you call for him to come to you for a side interview.
Yeah.
He brings his packed up camera with him. He expects that you want to share a look at it. There's something a bit interesting about his expression through all of this.
Face covered in blood. Gleeful grin.
Well,
As he mumbles, murder, 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 I love it.
well, I mean, for starters, everything about him looks exhausted. And, well, he was the one on call. He's been working for 24 hours straight. He looks, you want to say, conflicted.
Oh. That's interesting. Hey, Jeremy.
Hey.
So you were on call last night? You were filming?
Yep. So, look, I'm normally Elisa's camera operator during the day. I was assigned to her specifically. But yeah, this night, I was on all three of them. I was on the whole winner's gazebo, so you can see why there's always a chance I missed something. I don't think I did, but it's possible. So, I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. It's all right.
Okay.
It's okay. This is unexpected tragedy.
Well, yeah, for sure. Whew.
It is unexpected, isn't it, Jeremy?
I mean, of course. Who could have seen that coming? But, whew.
So you were filming last night. What do you do? Well, obviously, while they're sleeping overnight, surely there's not too much that's interesting to film. What is your
Nah,
general
camera
plan?
goes off at that stage. To be honest, I got my phone.
Fair. And you're ready if someone wakes up, for instance, to get up and start filming?
I'm right there with them.
So so you would just watch over the beds as they slept?
Pretty much. Oh, it sounds so creepy when you say it like that. But yeah, so for these ones, what happened last night was one of them did this sort of thing, went to sleep. One of them did another thing, went to sleep. One of them did another, and then they were all asleep. Great. And then I just got to chill. Took a while, actually. One of them stayed up for a couple of hours after the others.
Who was that?
That was Ronan. He went exploring.
Did you go exploring with him?
Well, I mean, yeah, I was filming him. I didn't want to get, like, you do the sort of mid-distance shots where, like, if you know that they're going to do something exciting, that's when you run in for the close-up. But you don't want, in case one of the other contestants wakes up, you don't want to miss anything and you don't want to draw too much attention to them. So you stay at a nice middle distance.
So would you say that, for example, if while you were filming Ronan, not Jeremy, you're Jeremy, Leslie had woken up, you would have noticed?
I would, unless he was making a really obvious effort not to be noticed, like lying down in his bed with his eyes squinted open a little bit and making the tiniest movement. So I don't mean to say anything that, like, about Leslie in this way.
No,
I'm saying it would have been pretty hard.
If
I've been doing
gotten
this
out of
for a
bed,
while.
you would have been aware?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, interesting.
At least, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
What do you mean? Why the hesitation?
It's It's been a long night. It's been a rough season. Whew.
Did Ronan do anything exciting? Did you need to leave to get a close-up shot?
It probably won't make the... You know what? A little bit of it would probably make the final cut, but not a huge amount. He was token hunting.
Oh, of course, an immunity token.
Exactly.
To keep
Or
him
at
immune.
least a clue often at the winner's gazebo. So I know that you know, apparently. You're a fan of the show?
Yes, of course. But please describe
cool.
it for our audience at home.
Whoa, that's a weird thing to say. I just wanted to say, maybe there are some behind-the-scenes parts of it that you don't know of that don't get shown.
Oh, Jeremy. You think I don't know behind the scenes? I'm the king of police.
So every so often, there are immunity tokens hidden somewhere around the campsite, and they're usually really hard to find. Normally, they can't be found whatsoever without a clue. So often in the winner's gazebo, somewhere hidden around, that's where the clues are hidden, not
Sure.
the tokens themselves.
Okay.
So he was probably he was
You think
clue
it was
hunting more
clue
than token hunting.
And you said there was a moment that you needed to do a close-up shot?
Oh, no, not at all. So the reason was he wasn't going to find anything. Clue had already been found.
By who?
Well, by Leslie.
Hence why Leslie was so asleep.
Yeah. Well, that's not the reason that he was asleep, trust me. If you'd seen the way he'd eaten and drunk. Whew.
Oh, okay. I was surprised. No, I know why he was asleep. So Leslie had the clue.
Yeah. This is why Ronan's fruitless searching is going to make it, because it's such a good contrast to what Leslie did, which was Leslie arrived at the gazebo, pigged out. He had like 2 full pizzas to himself, followed by 4 beers, and immediately got super sick. And
Vomited under the mat, which is where the clue was.
well, he vomited on the sand and then covered it up with the mat. Yeah, it was pretty funny. And while he was down there, he saw that just sort of hooked under the edge of the gazebo was the clue. So someone who wasn't on all fours vomiting would have had a hard time spotting it.
How interesting.
Yeah, that's
May I
what you want
suggest
from the show.
You play Ronan's search at 2.5 speed, 10 speed, and play
Benny Hill?
Yakety Sax.
You do know what you're doing.
Hire me to produce your reality TV show, people. Okay. Now, just between you and me, what did the clue say?
It told him that he had to...
Sorry.
No, that's fair. That's actually a pretty stupid response.
The immunity idol is hidden inside one of your companions. Kill them and take it from their stomach.
You know what? Let's rehash all of that. He hasn't actually opened it yet. He just stuck it in his pocket and went to bed with it right there. Again, he was not in a good place. I don't even know if he could read after all he'd consumed.
Fair.
So I don't actually know. I didn't write the thing.
Okay, lovely. I'm assuming that was someone.
Yeah.
Adam.
I don't
That'd be
know if he
weird.
does
that
it
might be
himself.
outside of the purview of his job.
He does have a lot. He has a lot of sway, a lot of control. I don't know if he goes to that sort of effort, though.
Sure. Can we have a look at your footage of last night? Maybe I can find some hidden clues that you missed.
Yeah, have a bit of a share of it together. And the problem is, it's like 8 hours long.
Yakety sax it for me. Come
No,
on.
that's probably not quite right. Let's say, when does it get dark?
It gets
like
dark
9.
here on the island at 2 a.m.
Okay, so no, it doesn't. Cool. There's like 5 hours of footage.
Okay.
So it gets really boring. There is a lot. Look, compared to what actually gets shown on the TV, this is excruciating. Even the funny bits, like Leslie throwing up, horrible to watch when you have to watch the whole thing. So it's really easy to zone out. But as far as you can tell, what you've seen is that they arrived, they each ate some pizza.
I'm assuming. So Leslie ate 2 whole pizzas, which means the others shared 1.5 and had a beer each. I'm assuming.
Not quite. Elise only had 2 pieces,
Oh.
and Ronan had no beers.
Okay.
Elise went to bed really shortly after eating. She didn't do any other...
Can I just... Sorry. In watching that, in the moments when Elise gets her pizza and gets her beer, is the pizza unique? Is she eating 2 pieces of a pizza that Ronan also ate? Or that Leslie also ate?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
actually, probably more Ronan than Leslie. Leslie just grabbed a box for himself. And
Sure.
started
Okay, but so
going at
that
it.
pizza was not unique
No.
to Elise. And the beers, was there anything that separated them from the beers that
It was just all sitting in one esky.
Okay, so there was no way of knowing.
If there is, it would be awfully hard to tell.
And we had to define esky for our American audience on our other podcast.
Icy cooler.
An icy cooler.
There's lots of ice in it.
Sure. Okay, so there's nothing that indicated like, here,
These are Elise's
have
beers.
the special secret poison beer. Okay, cool. That's good.
Shall I continue?
Yes, please. I just thought I wanted to look at that while it was happening, because that could have been a clue as to how she had been poisoned, if that's how she died.
Just as Leslie started his early stages of getting sick, that's when Elise went to bed on her own pretty early, but she doesn't win much. This was her first time in a long while in a real bed. Not that surprising.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the camera follow Leslie for a bit. It doesn't have to go very far because he only goes just out the front of the gazebo. You can see from some of the camera angles while he's doing that, Ronan's footsteps still around the gazebo, around the pizza, but nothing too specific. And a lot of the angles as Leslie is retching and reaching for the hidden clue that he spotted, it's hard to see much else going on.
Sure.
And then after that, sorry, did you want something that fits in there?
I wonder, has Leslie... has Leslie been at the gazebo before?
I would say yes.
How did he do then? How much did he eat? How much did he drink? And did he vomit?
He always overindulges a little bit, but nothing quite as intense as this one.
So he didn't eat anywhere near as much, and therefore didn't vomit.
This was a big old celebration. It might be because you can tell once this game hits a final 5, that's when immunity stops being a thing that you can just win in challenges.
Okay, so this was only reward. There was no immunity here.
No, this was the last immunity.
I see.
And while he didn't have the immunity, it may have just been that sort of celebratory, last time this is going to happen
Made it to
feeling.
the top 5 sort of thing.
Well, he might still get eliminated. Only Elise got the immunity.
That's true.
But yeah, this was the last time that the winner's gazebo was going to be a thing, because it was the last time there were challenges.
Okay, interesting.
So maybe it was the time for overindulgence for him.
Yeah, because I'm thinking perhaps, like I'm looking at what they ate, right? I still have poison on the brain, which is not healthy. I still have poison on the brain.
Poison is not healthy.
Exactly. And I'm thinking they didn't, like, Leslie got sick and Elise died. Also, Elise is an anagram of Leslie.
Yeah. No, it's not.
It's really not. It almost is, depending on how you spell Elise and how you spell Leslie. Now, they didn't share pizza. Like, there's no overlap in the pizza they ate, but they were the only two who drank beer, right? Ronan didn't have any beers. Maybe that's a... Has Ronan had beers at a winner's gazebo before? I ask Adam.
Oh, asking Adam. What was Adam's voice again?
Adam. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm usually not on duty at that stage, so I'm
assuming you've
not
seen some of the footage from weeks prior.
The footage just gets sent straight back to the mainland for the editors to go there. What do I... Yeah. Like, I control all of the things before the footage has been recorded.
Ask Jeremy.
I'm the pre-recording puppet master, not the postman. Well, obviously, I don't cover Ronan, but he and Elise were pretty close, so they had been to the gazebo at the same time before. And yeah, he drank before, never anything big.
Interesting. I wonder perhaps if him not having the beers because he knew they were poisoned, maybe he didn't intend to kill her. Maybe it was like I put a little bit of poison, and it didn't sit well with her. She died, and Leslie got sick. That's why he was vomiting. It wasn't because of normal food and beer. It was because it was literally poisoned beer, and that's why. I don't know. That's my current theory. That's an I'm not gonna. Obviously, I couldn't accuse anyone because that would be wild. But it's something to keep in mind. Maybe it was in the beer. If he's had beer before, he's not having beer now.
Yeah, maybe. Man, I wasn't on filming the beer before people got there.
That was an aside, Jeremy.
I'm sorry, I thought we were bonding.
We never have and never will bond. That's not true. You're a cool guy, Jeremy. What do you think?
I think I love Gilligan's Guile. Do you?
We
can bond.
I'm more of
trying to find some common ground here.
I'm more of a
Glove Island guy.
Glove Island. Okay. So anything? So the footage. There's nothing else I can really glean from that.
Yeah, so after that, Elise has gone to bed. Leslie has thrown up. Leslie crashes into bed very shortly after that. Ronan finishes his final piece of pizza. He's been eating sort of slowly. And then as soon as the others have gone to bed, he is searching. He is going through the gazebo. He is looking around the outside. He is going down the beach. He goes through the others' bags. He does everything.
Goes through their bags?
He does go through their bags.
Interesting.
He doesn't take anything out of them or put anything in, but he definitely goes through them. But he spends most of his time at the beach. That little outcropping of rocks, he is moving rocks from side to side, digging under them, all that sort of stuff.
Interesting. I wonder if he's actually searching for the clue. What if I went down to the rocks where he was searching around and digging and possibly hiding evidence of murder?
All right, you head down to that little outcropping of rocks, and it does look like they have been quite disturbed. Some of the smaller rocks are in neat little stacks that are clearly man-made things. You see that there is that one set of footprints that was more prominent than others, leading straight down here,
Oh, these
only
are the
just
Ronan
washed
prints.
away from
Yep.
the water. Yeah, you get the feeling that all those footprints, Ronan's.
Yeah, yes. It wasn't after the death, was during the search.
You don't see anything when you try to give a bit of a dig. A couple of crabs come up. There are tiny little crab holes in the sand. Some teeny tiny fish in the water right nearby. But unless they were in on it, you don't find anything suspicious.
Nothing here?
No.
Even if I review the footage and dig exactly where he was digging?
Again, this was a point where the footage, because...
It's kind of far away.
Exactly. And again, going back to Jeremy, yeah, well, like, I'd already seen Leslie get the clue. I knew he wasn't going to find anything, so I didn't need to do the up-close shots. I knew that I wasn't going to need to. Really? He probably should have picked up on that.
Yeah, maybe. So, Jeremy, you were here all night.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have is there any moment, anything you think could happen? I understand you didn't capture anything damning on camera, but is there anything that you noticed overnight that could have explained all this?
Well, I know I'm only Elise's cameraman for the most part. And no, during the night when I was on all three of them, I didn't see a thing. But I know that because I mainly focus on Elise, I have some gaps. I can pick up on some little things, some interactions between people. And sometimes I haven't seen everything, but I think that I'm getting a bit of an intuitive feel for this sort of thing.
Okay.
So I know about Elise and her interactions with people.
And do you know if there's anyone in the group who you think might want Elise dead?
I don't really want to go that far. That feels like I'm pushing it. But there was absolutely someone who hated her. And that was Benny.
Benny. Benny and the deaths. Solve This Murder is created by Bill Sunderland and Dani Siller. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook at Solve This Murder. For questions, queries and theories, send an email to solvethismurderpod@gmail.com. Thank you to Jared, Devon and Whit of Advanced Sagebrush and Shootouts for creating our theme music. And thanks to all of you for listening.